All right, everyone, let's face it. After a gloriously gorgeous summer, it's time to start thinking about heading back to school. But to help ease the transition all month long, I'm going to be sharing some inspired lunch ideas that I hope you guys will love. And today I'm kicking things off with 3 of my very favorite quinoa recipes that all happen to be super filling, super nutritious, and entirely vegetarian. I'm going to show you my crunchy rainbow quinoa, my tabbouleh quinoa salad, and finally, a one-pot Mexican-inspired quinoa that is nice and hearty and delicious. Let's get started with our crunchy rainbow quinoa. In a large mixing bowl, I've got some cooked quinoa standing by. If you've never cooked quinoa before, not to worry, I have a video for that, and the link is in the description below. So to my cooked quinoa, I'm going to be adding a rainbow's worth of yummy vegetables. So for my yellow, I've got some cooked corn, then I'm going to add some shredded carrot for my beautiful bright orange. Then I've got some cherry tomatoes I've just cut in half, some red cabbage that I've shredded really finely. And finally, I'm going to be adding some beautiful broccoli florets. I'm using raw broccoli in this recipe, but some people do have trouble digesting raw broccoli. If that's you, all you need to do is steam it for a few minutes beforehand. What I love most about this salad is that it actually can be dressed with any dressing you like. Today, I'm mixing up a really simple dressing using just a glug of olive oil, some white wine vinegar, a little Dijon mustard, some honey, and some salt and pepper. I'm going to whisk this all together, pour it over my salad, and toss everything really well. The best part about this salad is that it can be made well ahead of time and will last in your fridge between 4 and 5 days. Next up, we're going to be making my tabbouleh quinoa salad. If you've never had tabbouleh before, you are totally in for a treat. It is loaded with fresh herbs and has a ton of beautiful flavor. Traditional tabbouleh is actually made with bulgur wheat, but in this case, I'm replacing the bulgur with my cooked quinoa. To that, I'm going to add some finely chopped cucumber, some finely chopped tomato, and some finely chopped white onion. Then it's time to add some flavor. I'm using a whole heaping helping of chopped parsley and some chopped mint in this recipe. Now I'm using about half the parsley that a traditional tabbouleh would. Feel free to use as much parsley as you like. Then it's just a matter of dressing it with some olive oil, a whole lot of lemon juice, and some salt and pepper. Toss it all together and it'll last in your fridge between 4 and 5 days. The longer it sits, the yummier it actually gets. Finally today, we are going to mix up a nice hearty Mexican-inspired quinoa dish that can all be made in a single pot, because really, who needs more dishes in their life? Nobody. So to my pot, I'm going to add some quinoa, then I've got some canned black beans that I've just rinsed and drained. I'm also adding some corn, some red bell pepper, a little minced garlic and some minced jalapeno for heat, and then a good helping of salsa. I'm going to top all of this off with some vegetable broth and bring this mixture to a boil. Once it's reached a boil, we're going to turn the heat down to low, put the lid on, and simmer it for between 20 and 25 minutes. Once it's done cooking, you're going to turn off the heat and let it sit for another 5 to 10 minutes. Once the quinoa is ready, we are going to brighten it up with some nice fresh flavors. I'm adding the juice of 1 lime and a whole lot of fresh cilantro. If you're a cilantro hater, don't worry at all, you can absolutely leave it out. We're going to mix it all together, and this stuff is great eaten hot or cold. The perfect dish for lunch. I hope you'll give these tasty recipes a try, and if you do, be sure to tweet or Instagram me a photo, because you know I love seeing what you're coming up with in your very own kitchens. And don't forget to check out the latest episode of Mobile Meal Makeover over on Kin Community for another amazing quinoa recipe. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to The Domestic Geek, because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.